Bow Hunter Die, baby. Season 2014 starts right now.
Well, Todd, that was a great way to start off your season. I mean, first trip to the stand, a nice buck comes in.
Well, Justin, you know what? Trail cameras don't lie. And you know what? I've been doing a much better job at setting them and using the data. And I'll tell you what, daytime activity, when it comes to patterning bucks, trail cameras can be a huge asset.
Right.
And they don't lie.
Well, I mean, especially, for you guys that are fortunate enough to hunt in September, those bucks are definitely a little bit more patternable because they seem to do that, food, bed routine, right, pretty consistently. And like you said, you've had a lot of, good daytime activity in that spot. Sure enough, you go in there, very first day, you got a nice buck. And I know that you've been back a few times and seen a couple big ones in there.
Yes, there are, I'm calling them the three amigos. There's definitely three nice bucks. I'm not sure that I would shoot all three of them, but there's definitely one or two of them that I would like to get an arrow into, so I guess time will tell.
Yeah, Todd's had a few encounters with those deer and has got some footage of them already, so we're going to show you guys that on the next episode, which will be next week. But speaking of starting off with a bang, first up for this week, we've got John Herman. He's up in northern Wisconsin, I believe in the Ashland area, just south of Ashland, and well, you just
give me the GPS coordinates to his deer stand, Justin.
I don't know where they're at, but everybody likes to know where people are hunting. And I mean, anybody that's familiar with that area knows it's pretty far up there. It's big woods hunting. So let's check out this opening day hunt.
Hey guys, it is September 13th. It's opening day of Wisconsin's bow season. I'm up here in northern Wisconsin, seeing if I can get it done on opening day for the first time ever. We got a beautiful morning here. It's 40 degrees. We got a light south wind, which is perfect for me. I'm hunting in the same areas where I shot a buck back in 2010 called Westgate 8. And I've got a buck frequenting this area this year that we're calling Westgate 10. It's a real nice 10. So let's see what happens. First deer of the year, just like I suspected. They're coming off of the fields to the south, feeding their way through these oaks, catching a couple of acorns before they go to bed. No horns yet though. First bucks of the year. That was it's going to be a nice 8-pointer next year. It's a good thing it wasn't one of the big boys because they were right on top of me. I never heard them coming. It would have been hard pressed to shoot one if it would have been a shooter. They didn't really stop and feed through these oaks very much, but they might have been feeding on that oak on the other side of the road for a while, so. Sweet. Some hornage. We need 1 more year's worth of hornage. Wow. Oh my God, am I shaking like a leaf? I'm kind of thinking that it's kind of over, you know. I haven't seen a deer in a half an hour. I'm sitting here filming some B-roll. And all of a sudden there he is, there's Westgate 10. He's 20 yards. I got my bow hanging on the wrong side of the tree. I got my camera all mucked up. Oh my God, I got my reading glasses on trying to focus on stuff. My camera focus is out of focus. Well, anyways, I finally got around on him and probably put the worst shot in the history of bow hunting on him. I hit him right in front of the back legs, and it angled up into him. I killed him. I don't know when, but I definitely killed him. Man, I sure wish I would have put a good hit on him. He deserves better. That's a nice buck. Alright, I'll touch base with you later when I get on the ground. Bow hunt or die. After a long sleepless night, it's finally light enough where we're gonna go out and try to find him. So I think we did the right thing. I mean, who knows, maybe he was dead right after I shot him. Hopefully he was. Hopefully there wasn't a, it was a quick death, but I think we did the smart thing by waiting. Hopefully next thing you see is some blood and recovery. So let's go get him. Yeah, I tell you what, there's not a whole lot of
There's no meat on it.
and there's not much
And it's
blood.
raining.
And it's raining.
Yeah, we better get to work.
Hey guys, well here he is, the Westgate 10. I tell you what, it's always interesting with me, and this buck here is no exception. We ended up finding him midday today. He was all cold when I gutted him out. That my arrow had angled in through the small intestines, up through the liver, and caught the far side lung. And turns out he had expired within minutes of being shot, which is, if anybody's made a bad hit on an animal, it's nice to know that he didn't sit there all night and suffer. So it's going to free up some time for me to hunt down in Illinois and also in Ontario. This is a really good buck for up here, and I'm very proud to harvest him, and I'm really, really happy that we found him. So next stop, Illinois. Bow hunt or die, guys.
Oh, Justin, I don't know what else to say, but man, when I saw that arrow go off, it was just, it brought back my memories of last year with the deer that I lost. And it's bow hunting. It happens. And I don't care how much you practice. I don't care how much you do. Of course, we recommend that you do all those things all the time, but it's bow hunting and things go wrong.
Yeah, Todd, you're right. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you could say. Johnny was definitely fortunate to recover that animal. As he said in his recovery interview, a lot of times when you're watching the footage, things look different, maybe better, maybe worse, but I mean, they definitely look different than reality. I mean, and according to Johnny, that arrow angled up in there pretty good, and he got a lot better of a hit than he originally thought. But I've had that sinking feeling before. I mean, you could just tell from his reaction, when he shoots that deer. He's trying to be positive.
The enthusiasm. Ooh.
He's trying to be upbeat because, we are on camera and we're trying to have an upbeat show. But, I mean, it's hard to do. And I guess if there's anything that, you could take away from it is, something I guess that we've stressed in our show over the years is that we are a little bit different than some of the other TV shows. Because I don't know how many shows I watched, Todd, countless times where they've made a poor shot on a deer, turned to the camera and been like, I smoked him.
Right. And
you're sitting at home going, no, I don't think you did. I mean, if nothing else, we're honest about it, and it happens. And hey, he recovered the deer, and it was a great buck.
Yeah, well, and that's the benefit of watching bow hunter die. You know what? We show it all, guys. I mean, Justin and I have said from the beginning, it's all truth. I mean, we show it. Good, bad, ugly. You've seen me make bad shots and not find a deer before. Justin's happened to Justin. I mean,
I think I'm going to count. I think we mentioned that in just about every episode.
All right, we're not going to mention anymore. But here, honestly, here's what's important right now. I mean, this isn't a joke. I mean, what's important is the shots that you take. There's a big difference from being able to say, I think I can pull that off versus having those 15, 20, 30 yard, the shots you practice for the most all the time. Right. When you make a mistake in those shots, things happen. It's when you find yourself saying, I think I can pull that off, that's when you know you shouldn't be letting an arrow fly.
Right.
Absolutely.
There, definitely. So, congrats, Johnny. Great way to start the year off. He's tagged out in Wisconsin. I know he's got some big plans for Illinois and Ontario, which should be pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So next up, we're going to jump in a tree with Neal McCullough, also in Wisconsin opening weekend.
September 14th, beautiful morning today. Got a light south breeze. We're in a stand we call Double Down. On a deer yesterday and saw about 9 different deer, so it's a good spot. We were up on the hill last night on Turkey Ridge. We saw a pretty big buck, so we'll see. Beautiful morning, no deer yet. Right there. Man, we came in here, worked perfect. Call the stand Double Down stand. Because 2 years ago I shot 2 does. About probably 50 yards above us. And they always work this little green alleyway right here. So we moved our stands up just barely, probably 50 yards just to the edge of this thing. They fooled around a little bit. The doe, I think she saw us in the tree but wasn't sure. The wind's just kind of pulling all her scent up. She got here to like 8 yards. I just put a perfect shot on her. She fell down up here in the hillside. So we're gonna go and collect her. Bow hunter die, baby. Yeah. All right, here's my arrow. Looks good. Bright red blood on the arrow. Looks like heart, long. Kill zone opened up. God, what a pretty sight that is. Blood-stained quick fletch. You can't beat it. So we went and changed. I got out all my warm stuff here, and it's just been pouring blood along here. We saw her crest, but she's got to just be up here a little ways. There's blood here. Dead deer, buddy, right there. Dead deer. Today is September 14th, I think it may be the earliest I've ever taken a deer. This deer is big doe, big healthy doe, and this is the culmination of just us working and learning the land. We've sort of developed this stand over the course of 2 or 3 years. We shot 2 does there a couple years ago, and then last few years we've noticed they've been really concentrating on this one little pinch in the clover, and we moved right there and made it happen this morning. Nice big adult doe. NAP did a great job, and it'll be a perfect eater. So bow hunt or die.
Well, Neal's certainly starting his season off on a good note as well. You know, much like myself, Neal's been on a bit of a buck drought these last couple of years, so I know it's, you know, feels good to break the ice. But one thing that I did notice today when I was watching that footage, I mean, he clips a tree branch just a little bit when he shoots, so I think he may have got lucky on that one.
Well, one thing's for sure, those are my favorite shots. I mean, there is nothing more rewarding as a bow hunter to be in your set, you know, full draw, and have them just come together right in that spot.
That 8-yard shot is about as good as it's going to get. You can always tell they're close when the bow goes off and it's so fast you can't even see the arrow traveling through the air. So congrats to Neal. It was a good hunt. Hopefully he'll be able to get a buck on the ground this fall. And then next up, we're going to check in with some hit lists. You know, of course, Todd, being here in Illinois, our season hasn't quite opened yet. So we're going to check in with Tommy and myself, and then Clinton and Frank down in Central Illinois. All right, guys, well, welcome to the hog pit down here in Tommy's basement. This is his man cave. And obviously, as you can see in front of you, we got a bunch of sheds here. So we're here to introduce you or reacquaint you with some of our hit list bucks for this fall. So we'll let Tommy take it away.
All right, well, number 1 deer on my hit list is the STD buck. Just a giant 4x4. We think this deer is probably 4.5, 5 years old, and probably weighs somewhere around 300. You know, 20
he's
pounds
a giant
on the hoof.
deer.
He's just a giant deer.
Yeah, he's a cool buck. We had a ton of trail camera pictures of him last year. So he's a big, old, mature deer. I mean, I think he's going to be hard to kill. I had an encounter with him last year and wasn't able to kill him, but he's a super nice deer. I guess next up on the list is going to be the deer that, you know, Todd's been talking about a lot in our videos, because obviously Todd is hunting out there with us, and this is a deer that you saw us pick up the sheds to over the wintertime, and that's deer we call the Baconator. Judging by the score of this antler here, last year we figured he was somewhere around 170. Yep. This year he's every bit as big. I don't know if he's a whole lot bigger, but it looks like he developed a kicker on both of his G2s.
Yeah, he's got a little more junk.
Yeah, he's got a full split on his brow tine. He's still got some junk here on his base. So he's definitely the number 1 deer on our hit list. And the reason that we call this deer Baconator is we were getting a lot of pictures of him last year, that side view, where he had this real big, thick beam right here. His beam is actually thicker than his base is, which is pretty incredible. But we were originally going to call him Thick Cut, but we decided to rename him to Baconator because we felt that it was a more fitting name, I guess. So these are definitely
he's a pig. He's an absolute pig.
He's a giant. He's an old deer. What else we got, Tommy?
All right, well, you know, the next buck is a buck we called Turkish. We actually had a quick encounter with this deer October 1st over the food plot. We think he was a 2.5-year-old last year when we have this set of sheds, and he just blew up.
Yeah,
he blew up into like 145-inch, 150-inch 8-pointer.
I don't know why you're doing your math. We'll have to see. I think he's more like a 140.
All right, well, magic tape measure. They look a lot bigger when they've got velvet on, and he hasn't shed his velvet yet, but just a giant deer.
Yeah, it's one of those deer that just made a huge jump from 2 to 3.
Yeah, big jump.
You know, we got a couple other deer that were out there last year as real nice 2-year-olds that
like
we're hoping
Cutler.
to have some encounters with this year. You know, we don't really know if we're going to shoot any of them or not. It was really going to be kind of a last-minute decision. We'll have to see how the season is going. We got our sights set on these bigger guys, but sometimes those, you know, 130, 135-inch 3-year-olds walk in front of you, and they can be hard to lay off. I will not deny that. So we've got Jay Cutler there. Tommy and I both passed them last year. We got another
Couple
deer
times.
that we call Fergie, which we're thinking about renaming. The last deer we've got on camera this summer is a buck we call, actually Richie, I should say, nicknamed Rockstar last year because his G2s kind of rock backwards. And again, he was a nice 2-year-old last year. The deer's got a lot of potential. He's probably mid-130s. And we're hoping that maybe he walks in front of us this fall. Jack, our cameraman, is signaling cut.
I'm not
because,
sure what's going on back there.
No, he's
but,
saying that we're talking too much and we're running too long. So keep watching Bow Hunter Die. Hopefully one of these bucks hits the dirt this fall.
Well, this deer season is going to be a little different for Frank and I. As you can see, we've got some new challenges. They've logged the whole farm. I think they cut 800 trees off of the farm this spring and summer, so that's definitely going to cause a few more challenges. The good news is we definitely have the best food plots that we've ever had. It's been super wet here in central Illinois. We had 7 inches of rain last night, so we should be good on the food, and we've still got 3 deer that we want to talk about. The first deer is a deer we call Junior. I'll let Frank tell you the story on that one.
Junior is a deer that we rattled in a couple of years ago and got pretty good footage of him. He was a 3-year-old then. We had him last year, late in the season over the beans. I actually shot the deer a little bit high in the front shoulder, and he lived through, found both sheds of him, off of him, so we know he's still alive. And then we ended up getting pictures of him about a month and a half ago, and he's bigger than he was last year. He's definitely a good 5-year-old deer now.
The other deer that we have running around the farm that we're pretty familiar with is Ernie. We had a couple nice encounters with him last year. I thought Frank was going to kill him the first time we seen him, and lucky for him and unfortunately for us, a truck drove by and run him off. He was about 80 yards away, getting ready to come through a fence gap into a food plot, which would have put him pretty close to us, and it just didn't work out. Late season, I had him in the beans. I had him at 17 yards, and it was just starting to get dark. I wasn't comfortable with the shot. I don't know if very many days went by since then that I haven't thought about it, so hopefully this year we get a crack at that deer. The one other deer that we have is Cal Ripken. There's quite a bit of confusion with that deer. First we thought Frankie shot him last year when he killed the big 9-pointer, and it wasn't him. The next time everybody thinks I shot him was when I killed the 10-pointer. 2 days later I said, here comes Cal Ripken down the hill. I guess we're just pretty jumpy on wanting to shoot that deer. We thought we'd get him killed last year and we never did. This year he's blowed up into a big 10-pointer with some junk. That deer's got a pretty good personality for us to get him shot. He likes to move in the daylight, and he likes to move a lot, so hopefully this fall we can get him shot.
It's every day, you never know, you can have another deer show up, so hopefully we'll have some more deer come in. See how it goes.
I guess that's it.
Time to go.
You know, Justin, one thing I got to say for sure is, I was really concerned going into this year. I mean, after EHD, chronic waste disease, the droughts that we've been having, I mean, honestly.
Well, and then one of the hardest winters we've had
right.
in gosh knows how long.
I mean, I was starting to think that, my gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to shoot a doe this year with the way things are going. But I'll tell you what, the antler growth that I have seen this year. Now, there's no question about it, Justin. I have seen some age class differences for sure.
Right.
But the antler growth that the bucks have put on this year are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. There's some good ones out there that we're going to be chasing. And the only thing that I wanted maybe to mention that we didn't talk about in our hit list, is that, that deer that we're chasing out there, the Bacon Eater. I mean, he's probably the biggest whitetail I've ever hunted, I would say. I mean, I'm figuring he's probably going to push into the 190s this year. I mean, it's an opportunity that just doesn't come very often for a lot of people, and it's certainly not anything that we take for granted. I know myself, watching a lot of these shows out there, you got guys that are passing 150s and 160s and shooting nothing but 180 and up, and it's so unrealistic from the real world that to me it kind of turns me off. And I just hope that we come across the people that, I mean, we're not those guys. I mean, believe me, a 140-inch deer walks by, I'm shooting it all day long. Granted, I'd prefer to kill a 190, but I mean, it's a pretty special opportunity. So I think that we're all really looking forward to chasing that deer, and hopefully somebody out there is able to get a shot at him this year.
Well, you're right, Justin. I mean, it is a giant deer, and I know for a fact I spent almost three hard years chasing that one deer, Sweetness, and it's fun to chase a specific deer, but it's also fun too to be able to just go on a hunt and just enjoy the hunt and not always be trying to strategize, where do I want to go, why do I want to sit there, why shouldn't I be sitting there? Right. So, I honestly, hey, I hope Justin deserves the Baconator. I'm never going to hunt there. Well, maybe I'll go there a few times and chase that deer, but it's going to be a good season. Yeah,
well, I mean, you guys may have noticed Todd didn't do a hit list this year, which in my mind means he's probably hiding something from us pretty good, so I guess we never know what's going to show up, huh?
There's been so much high-quality hit list stuff coming, and I decided that maybe I didn't need to do one this year. No, that's actually not the case. You'll just have to wait to see. I've got a few things up my sleeve, so we'll have to see how they all come together.
Yeah, strapped to a tree is what you've got, probably. So, as always, we want to thank the people who took the time to send in their trophy photos for this week's show.
Seth Jordan,
Eric Maydew,
Troy Jessup,
and Aaron Mayer.
If you'd like to see your photo right here on an episode of Bowhunter Die, visit our website, bowhunting.com, or visit our Facebook page and upload your photo.
Well, Todd, that's all we've got for this week's episode. As you guys may know, I mean, this is the kickoff officially of our fall hunting season. So from here on out, weekly episodes every Friday morning. So you're just going to have to check back. I know we've got a lot of guys out in Wisconsin, Kentucky, Missouri hunting. Illinois is going to be opening up in just under 2 weeks. So.
And, Justin, not to interrupt you, one thing that we didn't mention, we usually like to try to keep the show as current as possible. I mean, wow. I mean, some of the... I don't remember a time that I've been out hunting during the opening weekend and it's 39 degrees out. I mean, yesterday's hunt for me, it was 39 degrees and I'm driving to the stand. I'm like, I'm not even prepared for all this gear yet.
Usually early season, 40s, 50s at night. You don't quite have to put on the November gear yet, but It's been pretty cold. It's been a good start. They're saying maybe another hard winter. I mean, I guess you never really know, but I don't know. Things are looking good out there to shoot some deer this fall. So check back next week right here on Bowhunter Die. We'll have some more great bow hunting action for you.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out facebook.com/bowhunting for daily updates, news, photos, and other exciting information. We want to hear your opinions and your stories, so join us now and like us on Facebook. God, what is happening in here today? It feels good. I love it, buddy.
That's because you've been hunting.
Dude, it's therapeutic.
To me, it looks like
It's a great item. Whoever thought of that gets a free lunch. That's great. That's great.